Oh, how'd you sleep?
I wouldn't call it a sleepless night. I would call it something like a sleepless night.
Not the same as being out at sea, but
Oh, yeah, the seas are rocking. We gotta move, baby. Well, you gonna start the engines or what?
We had a lovely 36 hours on the famous Isle of Wine and would love nothing more than to continue to sip and wonder. But we came here by boat, so it's not up to us. And as if it isn't obvious enough, our lives are ruled by the wind and sea. We don't decide where to anchor over how long. Mother Nature does.
I know the face so well, but I can tell that it's changing.
Okay. Bring it up. Looks like we're on top of it already.
We get along so well, but I see that we're changing.
is this our new reefing point?
That was the topping left. I just slacked out a little bit, and then I've got our first reef in, which is only about that much sail, and they recommend between 12 and 15 knots, and I think that's what we're gonna see today. We're all set. First reef, first time. Sails are up! So crispy. Love it. Okay.
Ah!
Goodbye, Waiheke. Yeah.
Alright. It's not too bad. It's just coming directly into the bay, so what was once so nice is now just like being at sea.
Sailing. Wrong way.
No such thing.
This is a very average day in the life of a liveaboard sailor. Even the wind and sea state classify as moderate. And I would say the comfort level is on par.
So we are headed straight for those islands right there so that we can then tack so that we can go the direction we need to go, which is over here. But it's just one of those days where it's like, okay, the wind was going to start coming in this morning, which was going to make our anchorage all rolly and crappy. Yeah, and the wind will shift, but not until about noon. So you can either hang out in that and feel like you're at sea anyway, or you can just go ahead and go out to sea and spend an extra hour sailing because you have to tack to finally get in the direction that you're going. And also because if we wait too late in the day, then we won't make it to our destination in time, and the wind is going to increasingly get stronger throughout the day, and we don't want to be out in that this evening. So this is what we're doing, and why not? Like, I'd much rather spend an extra hour or two sailing than just simply bobbing around in an anchorage.
Or motoring.
No, we're not motoring. We didn't buy a sailboat so that we could motor.
It's the average days like today that make me question my life choices the most. Because really, why do we revel in discomfort? Why have an alarm clock when you can have an anchor alarm? Why travel in the most direct route when you can cram a 4-hour trip into 8? It's nonsensical. It's stupid. Sailing is stupid and at times completely impractical, and yet we love it like it's the greatest way to exist on the planet. We're thoroughly enjoying ourselves, and yet our route looks like we handed our charts and a crayon to a 3-year-old and said, "Have at it, kid."
Successful drive. Are we going the correct way?
We are going the correct way now. I think we kind of still need to adjust the sail though. Well, it's just for pinching. So let's talk about our water situation for a minute, because we keep getting the question, did you ever get your water maker running? And I keep avoiding that question because it's not a simple yes or no answer.
We've done a video about our entire water setup from where we get it to how we purify it, and not really much has changed except for the fact that our generator died while we were in Tonga.
It's not doing anything. What do you think?
Because we have a 120 volt water maker that only runs off of the generator.
Water maker's not commissioned because the generator's not working. The starter's poked.
No generator, no water maker, which is a huge drawback. And one more reason we decided to upgrade our alternators so that we can ditch that generator altogether and eventually get a 12 volt water maker that will easily run off of our solar and lithium battery setup. In the meantime, we've been relying on rainwater and the occasional top up at a marina, which has been surprising because I didn't think we would make it this long, but we have.
No hard rain yet, but I'm ready. Our impromptu setup.
Rain happens just frequently enough and requires zero electricity to collect. But we still have to purify it and filter it before we drink it because we collect it as it's running off the boat, which has all sorts of bacteria, bird poop, and who knows whatever else. And then there's the water that we get at a marina, which might be perfectly fine, but can breed bacteria once it sits in our tanks. Even perfectly pure reverse osmosis water maker water will eventually breed bacteria after setting, which is why we have a purifier. And this one is made by Acuva, who I am stoked to say is today's sponsor because we installed this unit almost 6 years ago now, right after we bought the boat.
Quick, lock it. Put something in front of it.
And we even installed one in Jason's mom's van a couple of years ago because she was carrying around loads of jugs because she didn't like the way that the water tasted out of her tanks. And so now she's a big fan too. So it is a 2-stage water purifier. The first one being the advanced pre-filter, which helps remove heavy metals, fluoride, chlorine, other metals and contaminants, and improves the taste and the odor. So it doesn't matter if the marina or the RV park has funky tasting water, we'd never know about it. The second is the big one because it's a UV LED that eliminates up to 99.999% of bacteria and viruses. So it does not matter where we get the water from, we don't have to worry about it. It is a 12 volt unit that just sips power because it only powers when the water is flowing. Otherwise, it doesn't pull anything. It's very compact, fits easily underneath the sink, and there are different models. We have the 5, meaning 5 liters per minute, and in Jason's mom's RV or van, we installed the 2 because there is a slight difference in size, of course the flow rate, and in the price point. But as far as price goes, we did do a little math, and turns out the price of jugs of water for Jason's mom, her unit paid for itself within a year. And right now, if you use our discount code Wynns, you get 10% off your entire order. So I will make sure to put a link down in the description below.
Pushing us towards the island.
We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the.
Second refit!
Wow, turned into a 26 knot day.
Did not expect that.
2 reefs on the main, 1 on the Genoa. We've been doing like 7 to 9 knots of speed. The waves, the currents here, like they're coming out like this and the boat's going all crazy, and every time we try to capture it, we lose all of our speed because we hit a wave and then we hit another wave and we're just like dead in the water. Anyway, it's been a very exciting sail.
Yeah.
Very exciting sail. Maybe another hour we'll be at the Coromandel.
And how do you feel about the sail so far and having the extra reefing point?
Brilliant. We've already used 2. What do we got? 1 more to go? Our old sail only had 2, so we've got quite a bit more sail up than we used to have on our second reef, so that's good. Let's do an 8.5 knots right now. These yellow arrows, those are the current.
But I don't think we're masochists. I think it's the effort required that we thrive on. Psychologist Paul Bloom explains why people willingly choose discomfort as there is a sweet spot here. You have to be challenged to just the right extent, threading the needle between too easy, which leads to boredom, and too difficult, which causes stress and anxiety. We seek out projects, or in our case, a lifestyle, with difficulty and struggle, ones that involve surmounting obstacles. This is a large part of what gives life meaning. Well, we're certainly not bored.
Wow. Okay. Now my butt's wet.
What you get? Get in the boat. It's gonna get wet. The bummer thing is, like, if we could have waited and done like an evening sail, then we could have perfectly timed it so the wind and the current would be going the same direction. It wouldn't be so sloppy. But unfortunately, the wind is also just going to continuously get stronger and stronger, which will just increasingly make everything worse too. So you gotta pick your lesser of evils, I suppose. Do you want wind against current, or you just want really strong wind?
Almost there.
Forever I'll live, forever I'll try. Forever I'll run, forever I'll die. Forever this heart, forever my soul. Forever I'll be, forever unknown. Days and nights, skin and bone.
Got the one engine going, producing 162 amps, putting 150 amps into the battery. She is almost fully charged. Might take 2 of us.
Very snug fit.
Very fat and crispy. There we go.
Days and nights, skin and bone. I'm still here, but you moved on.
Looks like a nice spot to start with.
Yeah. Nice and calm. We're the only ones here.
And looks like not one, but 2 private beaches.
Forever falls in love with the guy that wears sweater vest.
And some sheeps over there.
She used to be my.
Did we say we were anchored? Just kidding. Oh, the internet does not work here at all, which is funny because it did just like right before we anchored. So clearly we're getting blocked by this. We're gonna have to go choose a different spot. Otherwise, we cannot upload our video for this week. So, start the engines again. Are you having deja vu right now?
Don't talk about it.
It's not that bad.
No. Just a pain.
We'll follow that guy.
He's going to the next bay. There's already 4 boats there. We decided not to go there.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be out in the middle for the blow. It'll be fine.
Priorities.
It's fine.
Internet
is more important than our comfort. Our new anchorage. Woo! Breezy. Not quite as sexy as the last anchorage, but it has 4G full bars.
That's right. So we can get the video uploaded and then move along onto something more lovely. So
Not that it's not lovely, it's actually it's just beautiful
it's-
all around.
it is beautiful all around, but it is going to get very, very windy, and so this
Gusty
will
and
probably be a little bit rough. But
Definitely not worse than last night.
nope. Okay, well, we're here, and yeah, we'll see you next time for adventures here in the lovely Coromandel. I don't know what we're doing yet, but we're gonna do some. We always do. Okay. Now, to the computers. We have editing to do.
Forever breaks my heart and never says goodbye.